Hello, welcome to Cypress Automation. This is Sheriful. This tutorial is about to learn how to automate drop-down option in Selenium. In web application, usually we can find two different type of drop-down option. One is called static, another one is called dynamic. We'll see both option how we can do the automate through the Selenium. Let's go. So before we jump on a real coding, so here is the option I was talking about. So you can see this is, it's a box over here. So if you type something, say example CN Canada, CN, you will get some response or some result based on your suggestion. Whatever you type based on your text or type, you will get some suggestion. Right, so similarly if you type BAN, you will find some response. Okay, so that's called dynamic. So it's the result, it depends on what you type. So so what you type based on your text, it will be some suggestion result. So that's called dynamic. So it's a response comes on runtime. And the static one, it's fixed. So over here example, you can see here, the Selenium API, those are the fixed drop down option or result. So you have to select one of them. So that's called static drop down, and both of them are very common scenario in automation web application world. So we are going to learn how we can do both. And static is very easy, straightforward, but dynamic it's kind of a little bit tricky, but we'll see how we can resolve that. Let's go to our application. So let's create a file. Okay, so we'll give a name dropdown.js. okay, and over here we're going to again follow the Mocha framework format. Here we're going to, so I'm just to save our time, I'm typing the describe block as well as the it block, where it will tell us we're going to remove that part. Here is a it's a visit, we're visiting the website and CY visit, and also we're going to put the IntelliJ code at the very top, so that it automatically shows the some result. The Cypress command, it's through this code, as it will automatically show the IntelliJ, it will show the Cypress result. Okay, so let's go to here. First is we're going to static, we see that static drop down, static drop down. Okay, sorry, typo mistake. And to do this, so first we have to select, we have to find the element. Where is the your static drop down? So here is the static. So right click, inspect. So here is the ID, so I can use the ID to locate that element, the static drop down box. So we'll say cy.get, right, and then it was the ID. So the CSS selector would be sign, this is the CSS selector, and then what do we need to do, what we are going to do. So we're going to use select, Cypress command is called select, to select any one of them, which one you want to select. So let's select Selenium. Okay, Selenium. So to do this, the Cypress have a command, it's called select method. So you call the select method and just pass the argument, the value what you want to select. Selenium. All right, and then so it will be automatically select, this will automatically will select the Selenium. So if you want to do some assertion, let's do assertion. So to do this assertion, we use should function, should method, and should method have a various use cases. One is we can use, we know this for the should command, you can use should be, should not be, should have. So if there is any static value like this, this drop down, like this drop down, those are the just a value, right? You can just select. So if there is a static value, that time you have to use should have, then you pass the actual values over here. So if you want to select which one, Selenium. So Selenium, it has a value attribute, and it has the value of the value attribute is option 1. So we can just pass this parameters, the values parameters value, which is option 1, to make sure that it's selected that that is specific properties of the value. So we'll use should have dot, you can see there is a value, and then what's the value? The option 1. Okay, so it will find, so option 1, it means Selenium. So if it's already select Selenium, by this it should have the also find the Selenium, so it will be pass. Okay, so let's save it. And again, you have to know more in details about the should, where you can use should have value. So should, it has a various use cases, as I said. If say like checkbox, drop, or radio button, then or some element you need to verify is visible or not, that time you have to use should be visible, should be not visible, right? Should not be checked, or should be checked. That time you are going to use should be. But in this case, you are going to, in this case, when you have a static value, you will use should have value and then pass exactly the value you want to check. Okay, so let's save it and run it. So let's clear it, open a new node. Okay, so we'll use, as we know, right, our where is our package? In the package we have already scripts. So we showed in our previous video, where you can write your own customized script to run your test cases instead of writing a long command, right? So here we are going to use open, open. It will open the test cases in test runner, right? So just to give you the heads up, otherwise you probably, if you directly jump on this tutorial, probably you will not understand what is. So please watch all the videos sequence, order one after another, then you will find the flow. Okay, so we'll say npm run, then open. Okay, it's opening test runner, and we're going to open this. Okay, this one, the drop down. Okay, drop down. Because it's launching the side. Here we go. Let me make it bigger. Okay, here we go. You can see it should be here we go. And even you can verify from the script from the left side, and you can see the output. So here you can see it's visited the website, and then it's select it's select this button through this, the drop down box, the element, and then it's select the selenium before and after. You can see before and after it's changing up here. So it's finally it's selected selenium, and also its expected value of selenium is pass. Okay, so that's very simple and straightforward for doing static drop down example. Now the next one would be the little bit typical and complicated one. It's called dynamic drop down. Dynamic drop down. So before we start dynamic drop down, I'm going to just explain something. One of the command is called each command. Where? Over here. Cypress has a very helpful one of the command. It's called each command. So what is each command, or what it does? So each command, it's help you iterate. You can see iterate through an array like a structure. It means it help you to traverse in an array. So in an array, or list, it means it's a hold multiple elements under a one single variable. That's a simple way you can say it's array. So if you need to iterate or traverse through all the elements in a specific array, that time we can use each the Cypress command or each function. How it works over here, you can see here. You can, let's go over here. Say example, this is your element, and then it means this element maybe hold an array. It means it has multiple list of it's a group of element, probably assume that, and then it's after you locate that element, you use each function, and then this is the default command. What it does mean, it means it's a this list means array, index it means it shows the index of the array. So it means each and every element usually have an index in an array. So you are saying traverse each and every index. It means each and every element in the list. It means array. So traverse each and every index in the list, and put that each and every element, the response will store in this variable. That's the simple way you can explain, translate this each command. And after that you can, so it means your $E1, that sign, or that you can say it's a variable. It's saying over here is a wrapper jQuery element. So it means since it will store all the result of the element from the list or from the array, so it's a jQuery element, it's a wrapper element what hold number of response or result from this element following the index. So you can use, so now if you can use some if command, if statement, if else statement. So this wrapper element $E1 dot whatever you want to say, say if you want to, so every element, say example, every element of this list have a text. So if we use the text method over here, it means the first text of the first index will have stored over here. So you are saying if you get the text from the first index or from the first text from the first element, and then you can compare with some of other element, some other text. So if both are match, you do something inside the body of if statement. If it's not, then you do something else. So similarly you can use the other function too, but it's this is example of if. So we can use the similar idea in our static dynamic drop down automation. So how we can help it? So over here, let's go again, sorry, here. So first we're going to So first we're going to say example, this is our dynamic drop-down example. This is the box. We're going to type say example CAN. So CAN, after we type, it shows 1 2 3 4 5 response, 5 result based on our text, which is. So how we are going to do automate this? We can select, so you can see as soon as if you type, if you can't select those response. So we are going to, our text is after you type can in this box and then hit the Canada, that which is the match one, so it should be like this. So how you can't if you try to locate this Canada, you can't do this. You'll see it will be disappear, right? It's you see this option are gone, all the suggestion result are gone, right? So how we can do this? So first of all, we can easily select this box where we're going to type, right? So let's inspect that, spy this. So our so here we can use, I think you can use ID. We can use yes, this ID. It will automatically, we can easily locate this box, right? So let's see. We'll say sci dot get, what's the ID, right? So ID, and then what do you want to do? Let's, there you want to type, right? So we will use the type command. Or type what we want to type, say can, right? can. So this is easy. It means you type can text in that box, right? And after that, the next part is to select whatever the response. Out of the response, out of the 5 response, you select the Canada. So it means CAN, this 1 2 3 4 5 response. So you have to select the Canada, but there is no way you can select it because you can't locate it. And also in dynamic response, in dynamic drop down option, our code should be such way, not very specific, like Canada is second over here. But what if I type something else, or I wanna select of the third one, fourth one? So we don't have to hard code the position like it's a response. Canada is always will show in second. What if Canada shows 5th position tomorrow? Like if you type something in Google today, it will show in 2nd position out of 10 response, but tomorrow probably the same result will show 8th position out of 10. So if you hard code the position like number 2, your test case will fail tomorrow. So we have to make our response, our code very smart way, so that we're not dependable on the position. We're dependable. We'll get all the will count how many response it shows over here, and we'll select all the elements as a group, and then out of the group we'll get the text from the first one, and we'll compare the text with our expected the text. Our expected text is Canada. We'll get the element, we'll traverse the first element, and we'll see what is the text, and if that text is equals to Canada. If it's not, we'll run a loop. If it's not, it will move to the second one. So until we get the match result with the text, we'll continue the loop, and then when we'll match it, we'll say okay, click on that one. So it means it will select this. This is the same idea where it's over here, the same code where we we can use over here. So that's why we are going to use this each command. So first we have to get the group of the response. This element would be the group of the response. So group of the response, it means all the 5 element. How I can select all the response, all the response as a group, as a one element? That's one of the challenging part. So let's see. So here you can see this code. It shows, you can see this is, you can see this is the one of the the HTML code. It shows, you can see this is the HTML code. There is a 1 2 3 4 5, and this 5 is the 5 actual response it shows. You can see the text is American, Samoa, and then next one is the Canada. So here is the 5 response, that HTML code related with the 5 response. So I can traverse, so to select all the response as a group, you can see the common class. The common class is UI menu item, all of them, right? And then to get actual text like Canada or whatever it is, you have to go to the child element, which is the child elements. You can use the tag name, which is the div. So if I wanna traverse, say, from parents, so if each and every element, every response, it has a parents li, this is the parent code and this is the child code. So, and parent is, it's common, also child is common. So if I use this class, you can see here what is it's a class this, and then since it's a CSS selector, you have to put a space. So this is the parent CSS selector, and then what's the child is div, right? It's nothing response. So let's use scroll path. And paste it here. And if you don't know how to use scroll path or what is scroll path, please search on Google and say scroll path, and then you will find it like this, CHRO scroll path, and you will find a scroll path is a Chrome and as well as Firefox add-on, browser add-on. It's a tool that can help you to locate your element through XPath and CSS selector. But in Cypress we don't use XPath, but in Selenium you can use, it's more helpful in Selenium to get your XPath. But it also help you to have the result to define your CSS select or XPath is that right or wrong on how many elements it shows. So if I hit enter, you can see by this CSS selector, it's giving me response of 5 elements matching. It means we saw this. It's, if I type can, it shows, now you can see it shows all the 5 response, and by this CSS selector, it select all of them. So it means this is the CSS selector that select or it's locate group of element, I mean all the response together. So I can use this one as my a group of element. So it means it has a number of response element, the 5 element, and then I can treat this one as a array, and I can traverse that array one by one element and get the text and compare with the Canada text. If it's a match, I will say select that one. So that's the idea. So we'll say here we found the driver.get, and then we found the locator, this, right? And then next would be and also if you not sure, if you don't have the crop path, if you don't know how to use it, you can use also your test runner. So it means if you go your drop down up there, I can just show you. So whatever the CSS selector you think, right? Let's let it done. So whatever that you think your CSS selector, if you just click it up there and then paste it here, your CSS selector, and then hit enter, UI menu, UI dash menu, item dash div, it should, oh I see, you have to type it here first. Type it here, because if you don't type it, you know, those, because the result or response it generate on runtime, your execution, so you have to search, then based on your search it will create some response. So if you type can, right now type it here, hit here, right, you can see can, right, and then oh sorry, I think I missed this. Okay, after you type it, and then you know, then since as I said it's generate the response after you type it, right, and then paste it here, hit enter, you can see it shows also 5 match elements. So it means you are reconfirmed that this is the selector which is select the group of element, the group of response by this can word, right? So let's go back to our code. Sorry, from here we're going to, you know, get this code. Okay, we're going to get this code. Let's copy after here. So there we're going to say paste it here. Let's update there. So we're saying each, we're using each command. So this is the, you know, element or locator for the group of all the response. From there we're using each command which is, you know, will follow apply on this element. It means it's creating as a list or array and following the index, and all the one by one it will, you know, traverse or iterator, and it will, you know, store on this, you know, $E1 this value on this variable, right? So here we're going to say, let me close this. I think we're missing one closing bracket. Yep. Okay, if this, and then right, and then okay, so now here we're saying if this. So I hope you understood that. So here we're going to use text method, right? So text method, so this will hold the result of each and every index value. So index first one would be the first response, the America something. So and the second one, it will get the, you know, the element of the Canada. So it will place on there. So first we'll get the you know, get the text of the first element from the first element, and we're comparing with our desired text which is Canada. If it's a match, let's move this. If it's a match, and then we're saying, you know, use this, you know, this element, and then click on there, and you can see this is also called wrapper because, you know, this element, this $E1, this is working as a wrapper. You can see dollar is a wrapper jQuery element. It means, you know, it's wrapped by, you know, multiple elements, like group of elements. So this is, you know, I got it, I already showed you, I got it from this, you know, Cypress, their official websites, from here. Okay, so if it's a match, if it doesn't match, it will go to the next element and get the text from the next element and compare with the candidate. So until it find it, it will keep continue the loop. Okay, and if it's fine, it will click. If it's not, you know, we can say probably, let's say probably else, or, you know, it's up to you. You can say else, or we're not using else for now. Okay, so So we close this, and then for this one we have to close the bracket too. For this one we have to close the bracket. Right, I believe I'm right. If I see, so that should be good. Let's save it and run it again. Okay, did you see it? You can see it. Let's make it bigger. Let's run it again. So first it's select Selenium, and then second it's typed over here. You can see it's Canada has been typed, right? And also you can check through your script from the left side. So it's take you to the website, and this is the select, select a drop down is the static drop down box, and then it selects, you can see the select Selenium, and it's expected Selenium. It's found, so it test case pass. And next one, it's it's get the box for the dynamic box, and then type can, right? And then you can see it found the group of by this element. It's found the select all the response group of response, right? Result. And then through this, the wrapper, this one, it's get the select, find the Canada, and then it's click by the click, method or click command, it's select the Canada one, and then finally it's select, it's Canada has been selected over here. Okay, that's pretty awesome. So that's the way you can do any static drop down through the Cypress, and it's just for sorry, it's the dynamic one, and it's static one. It's very simple. Just use the select method and whatever you want to select. But for the dynamic, that's a little bit tricky. Use the each command or each method so that you can run you can run a loop and go through the index, for you on your list or array, so that individually you extract one by one element and compare with your desired text, and then when you find it, and then it will select it. Okay, so that's all for the drop down, the option how you can do it. And thank you so much, and wait for the next video. See you then. Bye.